Okay. Thank you very much.
Start where you were born. Just go.
Oh, you want me to tell you where I was born? I was born in a little town in East Tennessee, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, or actually at the foothills of the Smokies, in a little town called Sevierville. Actually, I was born and raised in Sevier County, which is about 35 or 40 miles above Knoxville, Tennessee.
Did you come from a musical background? Did Mama and Daddy sing?
All of my mama's people pick and sing, and several of my daddy's folks. My daddy picks the banjo and plays the guitar a little, but all of my mama's people are really musically inclined. That's actually where all of us, my brothers and sisters, got our music from. It's from my granddaddy, my mama's daddy, and his side of the family.
How old were you when you made your first professional performance?
I was 10 years old. I was on radio and television on a local show in Knoxville, Tennessee, which wasn't too far from my hometown. A man that owned a chain of supermarkets sponsored a radio and television show there, and my uncle Bill Owens took me the first time to the radio station, and I sung on the radio, and they thought it was good because I was just a kid. It wasn't as good as, it's just the fact that a kid was singing. But anyway, I got a job. I worked during the summers, when I was out of school, and then during Christmas vacation, that sort of thing, until I graduated from high school in 1964. So I worked from the time I was 10 years old till I was 18 in Knoxville.
You worked for a number of years with Porter Wagoner. How did you and Porter get together?
Well, Porter had seen me on some local television shows in Nashville, and I had sent songs to him before that maybe him and Norma Jean, the girl that used to be with his show, might record. I'd never met him personally, but he just called one day and asked if we could talk some business, and I went to his office, and he told me that Norma Jean was leaving the show and that he had seen me and heard me, and he thought that I was what he needed for the show, and of course I was really proud to be a part of it because that was a chance of a lifetime for me.
How did you and Porter get along? First of all, what kind of a person is Porter?
Porter's a good person. He's a generous person. He's a real smart man, a very business-minded person, but he's a good person. Porter's a warm, friendly person, but he's got his values and he sticks by what he believes, and so he's easy to talk to, easy to deal with. As long as everything is right down the line, which is something you have to respect in anybody. And I'm just proud that I got to know Porter and got to work with him because I learned a lot of things from him.
How do you feel now being out on your own?
I feel good. I've enjoyed it. It feels good to be responsible and feel like I'm the head of my own show because I have a lot of ideas of my own. I'm a pretty creative person because I write songs and make up all kinds of, stories and things to write. And so I have a lot of ideas, and it just gives me a chance to exercise some of my own ideas. And I'm really proud that I've reached the point with Porter's help and, fans and disc jockeys to where I could have a show of my own and be able to handle it in the right way. I hope I can.
How did that final decision come about anyway?
Well, this was something we had, always known when I started with Porter that one day the time would come, if things went well like I had always planned and dreamed and we had worked toward, that the time would come to where I would need a band of my own and a show of my own, where it would be unfair to both of us to stay together. Of course, it was just a good timing, and Porter felt like that. It was a decision made by both of us, but he felt like that now was a good time to do it because things had really been going well for me. I had 3 #1 records last year, and so it was a good time to do it, and I'm just proud he felt that way and just proud that I could find good musicians that happened to be members of my family. That's why we call ourselves the Traveling Family Band. I have a brother, 2 cousins, and then just a friend in the band.
And you do a fantastic show also.
Well, I appreciate it.
You write left and right. Where do you get the time? An artist of your stature is on the road many days a year. Where do you get the time to write all your songs?
I write a lot of them when I'm on the road many days a year. As we travel from place to place, I write an awful lot of songs on the road. And then I always have time to write it. It's a natural thing for me. Like I can be taking a bath and putting my makeup on. I'll have a piece of paper and a pencil. I'll just, reach over and write down an idea or something. And I'm always, when I have a spare minute, I always reach and get my guitar. And music is just so natural for me that I don't think about when I have time or when I write my songs. It just seems I'm always writing, and I enjoy it.
When you have spare time, do you have any hobbies or anything?
Writing songs. We live on a farm, and I spend a lot of time just out on the farm, and piddling around we got some animals, and we got cows and a couple of horses and dogs and a couple of chickens, So I like the simple things. I'm not a socializer, and when I'm off, I love to just get close to nature and close to my family, and I just enjoy the simple things.
And this is a two-part question. Part one is, what is your favorite song of the duets that you did with Porter? And number two is, what is your favorite single song?
Well, I have several favorites that I've done with Porter. One particular is The Old Time Preacher Man. It's a song that me and my aunt, Dorothy Jo Hope, wrote about my granddaddy, who is in real life an old-time preacher man. And then another one was a song called Jeannie's Afraid of the Dark that did really well, for us. It was in an album, but it's a real popular song. It's not a true story, but it just seemed to mean a lot to me for some reason. And then my favorite of my songs that I've recorded is The Coat of Many Colors, because it is a true story like The Old Time Preacher Man.
Where do you think country music is going nowadays?
Straight up. I think country music will always be. I just hope that country music don't lose its identity, because I hope that it can always be, have good country roots, like people like Porter Wagoner, Kitty Wells, Ernest Tubb, Hank Snow, and these type of people. I hope there'll always be that country, good country, solid back home sound. Of course, I'm just proud that that country music has developed to the point to where it can be accepted by all fields of music. I'm just proud to be considered country myself.
You being a female vocalist and you being nominated as one of the finalists in the Country Music Association Awards, how did you feel about the outcome of that?
Well, I never put too much thought into that, actually, Jim, because I know that there's so many people, in the business, and I figure whoever wins, I think they deserve it, because it's supposed to be handled right. Now, whether it is or not, I don't know, but I never expect anything, and then anything that I get is always a bonus to me. And of course, one day I hope that I will receive it, but it's not anything that, like a lot of people get all upset and get all bitter and all this and that. But if I'd been working for an award, I would have quit years ago. It don't make me work any less hard if I never got it, but it would just be something nice to have, that my kids and grandkids could see when I'm old, that I really had accomplished something in the business. But whether or not I ever get it or not, I'm just proud to be country music.
What plans do you have for the future?
I just hope to do better at what I'm doing, and that's singing and writing, and do have a good stage show, and later on do some television work. Just do better at what I'm doing.
You do have TV and movie aspirations. Do you have any movie or TV aspirations as far as other than a country music show?
No, I don't care anything at all about being in the movies. I've had different offers to play different parts, but that's never been anything that had that held any interest for me. And the only way that I would ever be in a movie would be like if I was singing on stage or something. But to try to act serious, I couldn't. I have often thought that I would like to do a comedy, country, comedy show, something like Andy of Mayberry, that sort of thing. I could see myself doing that. But anything, really serious, I couldn't do that, because, I don't have any desire, mostly. It's why I wouldn't do a good job of it. But I do have plans to do some television work, host some television shows, singing shows, entertainment.
Do you have any advice you can give any young aspiring songwriters or performers in the business that want to get into country music?
Well, there's no set way to get into country music. You have to, first of all, have the talent. Second, you have to have the determination and the ambition. And you got to have a lot of luck. You got to have a lot of people helping you. And it's just something that you never can tell about. Some people that got 20 times more talent than I ever thought about having, that went to Nashville the same time I did, are still walking up and down the streets trying to get something done. So it's really, there's no way to, to say who's going to make it and who ain't. But you have to really be willing to sacrifice anything. But whether you have to do that or not is a different story. I didn't have to sacrifice all that much, but I would have been willing to do it. Hi, this is Dolly Parton. I'd like to invite you to join me and Jim Fitzgerald here this Sunday on WPIK. WPIK. For Country Hitmakers, is what you said. Hi, this is Dolly Parton, and I'd like to invite you to join me and Jim Fitzgerald this Sunday here on WPIK and WXRA for Country Hitmakers.